Yo, what's going on guys? I'm Kerry, welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be breaking down a beat that I made that I reckon Drake will go crazy on. All the sounds you're going to hear in this are from my analog lab bank, so you can get that over on drumify.com. There'll be the first link in the description. Before we get into it, make sure to follow me and the rest of the guys in our socials. Links to that will also be down below. Alright, let's get into it. Alright, so we're over in Ableton now where I made the sample. The first sound I pulled up was this Desires preset from a bank that's coming soon from me and Noah, so stay tuned for that. This is what I had that playing. So the chords in this are actually really simple if I take out a few notes. This progression's in A minor, so it's all the white notes. It starts with just this A minor chord, and then it goes to an F major, and then a D minor. This one's a really common progression, so it's definitely one you should know. All I did to make it sound a bit more complex was add in a few extensions. So on the first one, all I did was add in a B, which is just the 9, and then on the second one, I put in an E, which is the major 7. And then on the final one of these chords, I also made that a minor 9 chord. I just also doubled the root note. And then the last thing I did was grab the F and put that up an octave. So these three notes are really close together, and that kind of adds a bit of tension to the chords. Alright, so after that I added in this bass from Hypnosis Volume 2. I just had this one following the root notes. The other thing I did here to make it a bit more interesting was I took this second to last D and I just put it up an octave to add a bit more interest. As for effects on the first two sounds, I actually didn't have anything. Alright, so after that, I wanted to add a bit more of like a percussion layer. So I got this weird like clap vocal thing from Splice, I think. I wanted to pitch it up 5 semitones, and then this is what it sounds like. Alright, as for effects on that percussion part, all I had was this decimal. I just had the sample rate coming down to like 10k, and I also just made sure I clicked this images filter button so that it doesn't have the weird analog sound. Alright, so the sample really doesn't have too much in it. The final part is just these vocals from Dude Clay's Lovecraft. These vocals were actually used in a song off of Certified Lover Boy, if you didn't already know. So I just combined a bunch of these chops, and this is what I had. I really didn't do too much to these sounds. All I had was this Pro Q3. I just cut out the lows and some of the highs. And then I also had Decimort again, just cutting out the samples to about 5k this time, and also making sure I clicked the images filter button. Now altogether, this is what the whole sample sounds like. Alright, so we're over in FL now where I made the drums. The first thing I added was this really simple snare pattern. Next up I added this hi-hat pattern. It's really not doing too much. It's just got a few rolls here and there. With hi-hat patterns for an artist like Drake, I feel like you really want to keep it pretty simple. I'd say this pattern is maybe even bordering on doing a little too much, but I liked it, so. Next up I added this kick pattern. So this kick pattern kind of gives it a bit of bounce. It repeats the first 4 bars the second time. It just adds these 2 hits right at the end to add a bit of interest. Then I added this percussion. It's actually got a pitch to it, so I made sure it was in key. After I had that, I added this really simple hi-hat pattern. It just sits on the one end of every bar. Then it was time for an 808, and then in this case, I actually used more of like a sub bass kind of sound. This just follows the root notes again. It just has a few jumps here and there. Final part I added was just this other snare. It's kind of like a little accent. So that's pretty much the whole beat. All I did after that was arrange it, add a few transitions, and then just give it a little mix. So thanks for watching, guys. Remember, all the sounds you heard in this are from my Hypnosis analog lab banks. You can get them over on drumify.com. First link in the description. Yeah, I'll see you in the next video.